Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about Coney and how much it takes as far as investment to produce a distribution income stream from this fund in the amounts of $1,000 a month, $2,500 a month, $5,000 a month, and even $10,000 per month from this fund. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers here. Currently trading for $16.72. We don't know what the most recent distribution will be. YieldMax is going to determine that tomorrow, but we will just use historical data and we'll look at the most recent distribution from last month and kind of calculate our data based upon that. So if we go to this website and we go look at the most recent distribution was $2.02. $1.10, $1, $1.57, $1.69, $2.79. There's a little bit of a gap here. You can see they switched from just a different payment schedule. So let's just use the most recent distribution. We'll use $1.50. I know it's a little bit lower than $2.02. But let's just use $1.50 for our example here. So $1.50 is going to be our assumed average distribution amount. So if we go back a couple pages here, we're going to pull up a calculator. Coney is currently going for $16.72. So we pull up a calculator. So our first calculation is going to be $1,000 a month divided by $1.50. It's going to take us, I don't like that number, 667 shares. And what did we say Coney was? 1672. So 667 times 16.72. So at the current price and assuming a distribution of $1.50 to produce $1,000 a month, it's going to take an investment of $11,152 to purchase 667 shares of Coney. The current share price of $16.72. Moving along here, we'll do $2,500 a month divided by $1.50. It's going to take us 1,667 shares at 16.72. That investment is going to take us $27.8K to receive roughly $2,500 a month from Coney. Next one on the list, $5,000 divided by $1.50. So 3,334 times 16.72 to receive $5,000 a month. We are going to need to invest $55.7K into Coney at a share price of $16.72 to accumulate 3,334 shares. And then lastly, $10,000 divided by $1.50. It's going to take us 66667 times 16.72. It's going to take us roughly $111,000, 472 there, to receive roughly $10,000 per month at a distribution rate of $1.50 and the current share price of $16.72. So a lot of assumptions there, but that's quickly how you can look at some of the numbers. The first thing we want to look at is the NAV erosion. So this is a bad thing with Coney. Hopefully they can fix this, but this is a negative with investing in these high distribution funds. You're going to have to somehow combat this NAV erosion if you're worried about that. Because if you would have invested, roughly if you would have bought 100 shares back on January 2nd and you didn't drip them, yes, you would have got distributions, but the 100 shares would now be worth $16,000. So let's go to totalrealreturns.com. So we saw the price return is negative 37% year to date. Let's type in the total real return. Let's take inflation out for this illustration here. So that's promising, right? If you dripped your dividends, you're up 47% year to date. From a price return, if you did not drip your dividends, you're down you have collected that dividend every month. You could have lived off it. You could have invested it into coin. Coinbase is probably doing really well this year. Let's look to see what it's doing. It's up 78%. So you could have, instead of dripping it, you could have just invested in that. That could have made sense. But yeah, so that's Coney. Let's go back here. Let's go back to YieldMax's website. Look at the fund a little bit further. Currently it's paying a massive 155.81% distribution rate according to their website. They are a Group C fund, so just keep that in mind. They pay once a month whenever the Group C ETFs pay. Like we talked about, their most recent distribution is $2.02. Before that, it was $1.10, $1.04, $1.57, $1.69. So like we mentioned, this distribution is very volatile. Something you'll just have to assess every month. They will be announcing tomorrow, as I'm making this video. The declaration date is going to be tomorrow. Yeah, so December 11th will be the declaration date. They'll pretty much tell you how much they're going to be paying in dividends for this fund. Thursday will be the ex-dividend date, and then Friday they will pay you a distribution amount. So just some things to keep in mind there. But overall, if you're a believer in Coney, you're a believer in Coinbase. And Coinbase is obviously a proxy play to crypto, Bitcoin. Bitcoin just hit 100K. So that is that. And obviously you have to believe in the underlying. Where's Coney at? If you want to invest into, these option income ETFs, because if the underlying does not do well, these are not going to do well. As we've seen that with some. Obviously, looking at Misty's been on a tear this year, and it's because MSTR has been on a tear. So just some things to consider there. Disclaimer: do your own research. Make sure you understand the degree of risk with these funds. NAV erosion, we looked at that earlier. That's something that's been happening with this fund. So you're going to have to figure out a way to combat with that if you're worried about the NAV erosion. Understand the tax implications with this. A lot of it's going to be return of capital, but there will be some, short-term capital gains from my understanding. Don't quote me on that. Not a financial advisor. But, overall, the objective of this fund is income. If you don't need income, this may not be a good fund for you, right? You may just want to invest in Coinbase to get that upside, that growth potential. But if you're close to retirement or you want to create some type of cash flow from your investments, you can look at Coney. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Please like and subscribe down below. And stay tuned for tomorrow. YieldMax will be announcing their Group C distributions and how much they will be paying per fund.